This is day 6. Today we're going to move from the top of the body to the bottom of the body. We're just going to loosen every joint and try to wake up the entire body. So you're not trying to think like you're trying to stretch your entire body. You're trying to build your self-awareness. So when we start at the neck, we're not just doing movements for the sake of movements. We're slowly going through them and seeing what we feel. So we're just going to work from the top down. So this is something that I do pretty much every single day. So we start off with the neck. Again, I just look up, look down. The rest of my body's soft. I'm not stiff. I'm relaxed, soft knees, soft elbows. Looking up, down, just a few times, and then I turn to both sides. Again, same as every other video. We're just doing what we feel. We're not forcing any of it. Then I go ear to shoulder, but you'll notice I'm not lifting. I'm just turning my neck. And then I like to look at the shoulder and then look up at an angle. Again, none of it forced, looking at the shoulder and look up at an angle. Just go within your range of motion. And then I like to do a bit of a chicken neck, forward and back. So I'm not leaning, it's just popping forward and back. A few of those. And then I do a half roll. So again, not forcing any of it. Then shoulders, it's just a nice gentle roll. And backwards. So again, I'm not forcing any of this, I'm just paying attention to the joints. Then I like to bring my arms out to the side, distracted by the tree, and just roll, and then turn one the opposite way. A lot of people will call this flossing the joints. And then I add a wee shoulder turn into it as well. And then from here, I just do the elbows, so just roll them. So as I'm doing all this, I'm trying to keep a decent posture, softness in the legs. Then we just go with the wrists. So obviously as we do the wrists, the elbow and shoulder is going to move as well. We're not going to be too dramatic about just hitting one joint. Actually, obviously the more that you can open, the better it's all going to be. And then I like to do a little thrust or spear hands. But again, it's just to stretch. I'm not forcing it. I'm not throwing it fast. Just ejecting the arms out. And you'll notice there's a wee shake in the hands because the hands are loose. And then I'll just do an inner roll. So when I'm doing this, I'm moving my chest as well. So it's not just arms. And then back. Same thing, I'm moving the chest and back. So the back goes back and forward. And just shake those out a bit. Now I want to move my chest in a circle. So independently, nothing else is moving. Just the chest, and then back the other way. Chest. And I like to do a wee lean, just to open the intercostals a little bit. Push the hip out as you lean. And then do it without pushing the hip. So trying to keep the hip pretty stable. And again, I'm looking for what does it feel like when everything's open? Am I getting the same distance down the leg? So maybe say over exaggerated, but I'm getting to here on this side and then I want to get into here. Then I know to stretch that a wee bit more and pay a wee bit more attention. Once I've done that, we're back to hip rolls. So hip circles are something that I do pretty often. I'll just do them randomly through the day as well. Because I spend a lot of time at a computer doing Zoom calls or just editing videos like this, they just get right and tight. So just doing bits at this just randomly throughout the day, going in both directions, obviously. Just helps to keep everything that little bit more loose. And again, I'm pressing through. It's not just a wiggle, I'm pressing through the hip. And then once I've done that, I'll just do this one sideways whilst I'm here. I like to lift my hip and then push my hip back. So I'm just rocking through the ball joint slightly. So I just do a few of these. I'm just rolling my hips forward and back. So again, paying attention to what the body is doing, what the joints are doing within this motion as well. Once I've done that one, I go down hands and knees. Knees are in, then roll them out. You see this a lot in Kung Fu training. So I'm allowing my knees to really come in. So all the strict deadlifters and squatters would hate this move because they want everything in line, but life doesn't work that way. You end up moving in all sorts of fun, crazy positions, so it's better to have this all loosened up. Then I put my feet together and I do wee rolls. But again, I'm not just rolling up here. I'm trying to sink a bit of weight into the roll. And then back the other way. Sinking a bit of weight into the roll. And then I do back and forward. So I just drop in like a chair pose, I suppose, from yoga. And back here. And then once I've done that, go to my ankles. I just roll through the ankle. Both directions, just play around with it a wee bit. The other way. So when you're doing that, your hip and knee are still working as well. It's not like you're just stuck in one place. So roll that. Then I like to go up onto the edges and then in. Sometimes I'll go a bit wider or I'll go back and forward. I like my ankles to get used to being in awkward positions. So I'm very less likely to roll my ankle. Popping back onto the heels, up onto the toes. So again, I'm not being strict about it. You'll see people holding strict. I'm not really bothered about that. I'm just trying to open up the body. So that's my head to toe position. If I find maybe my wrists are tight from training, I might do a wee bit more. Once I've done the full thing, then I'll look, I might do a wee bit of trunk twisting if my back's a bit tight, or I might do like elephant walks if my hamstrings are a bit tight. But generally I do that, and then I like to settle back in the Wu Ji, and I just sort of hold maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes. But the goal is just to feel what it's like when the body's open. It's always worth, when you're doing this on your own, if you're following through the video, maybe do your Wu Ji first before you start the video. Ask yourself how you feel, what's your breathing doing, what's your structure feel like, what's your posture like. And then whenever you're doing your Wu Ji at the end, your standing practice, you just stand, and then you notice, does it feel different? Does it feel the same? And remember, if you can't remember the Wu Ji, just go back to day 3 and you can go back through it again. So we hold here a minute, 2 minutes. Doesn't really matter, but if you want to hold longer, but think about your passive abdominal breathing still. Allowing the body just to switch on. Stomach will inflate slightly as you breathe in, deflate slightly, but you're not forcing any of it, and the body just relaxes. And then once you've done that, I think that'll do us for today. You just want to shake out the body. So that's day 6. Tomorrow is the last day, day 7. I think it's one of the most important ones because you're able to tie everything together. So I'll see you then.